What's going on, you guys? It's your girl, Miss J, with InStyle Atlanta and JuicyPop. And today we are being joined by a very special guest. She's a mother, she's a judge, she's an author, she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. She's, I know that's right. She's also a graduate of Clark Atlanta University. I went there for like 3 weeks, and I still claim Panthers, okay?
That's right.
Don't
Find
do that.
a way or make one.
We are being joined by Judge Terrinee Gundy. How are you doing today?
Great. I'm not judging anyone. So let's get
I know
the
that's
record
right.
straight.
I know that's right. Okay, and she is also a native of Jacksonville, Florida. So
Duval.
yes, represent. And you just told us that you just came back. Tell us about your trip back home to Duval.
Yes, my trip was amazing. I am from the north side of Duval, the poorest zip code in the state of Florida, 32209. And I grew up on Myrtle Avenue and 8th Street next to the churches. And so I went back home and had a book signing on Myrtle Avenue,
Yes.
which was just incredible. Like it was amazing to be back in my hood, to celebrate with the people who actually helped propel me to become a lawyer and a judge. And 2 city councilmen came and presented a city proclamation to me. And so it was just an incredible day for me and my family and the community who helped raise me. Unfortunately, the next day was the mass shooting right around the corner from my parents and my grandmother and aunt's house. And so, it was bittersweet, but I did enjoy going home a lot.
Well, congratulations on
you.
your
Thank
accolades and all of your success thus far. But we are going to be talking about your new book.
Yes, The Daughter of a Junkie.
Yes.
A true love story.
Yes. We're going to talk about that soon. But let's talk about you being a judge first. So you are a judge here in the city of Atlanta.
Yes.
Tell us how that all came about. Why did you choose to be a judge? Why was that profession chosen?
Okay, and so I know you said we're going to talk about the book later, but it's actually in the book.
Okay. Okay, well, let's feel a little bit.
Yeah, we get a little snippet. But at 7 years old, I decided to become a lawyer because the police was looking for my father. He said he needed a lawyer to help him.
Wow.
I just wanted to help my father.
Wow.
Then 2 years later, at 9 years old, one of my neighbors went to jail for something that I just know he wasn't capable of doing. He wasn't even physically able to do it. So it was
personal experiences growing up.
He was very childlike. And so my father said that he never had a fair shot because the judge didn't look like us.
Wow.
And at 7 and 9, of course, I had no idea that being a lawyer and a judge was related.
Right.
I just told him then again at 9, well, I guess I'm going to have to be a judge so that people that look like us and come from around here have a fair shot. And so I started working towards becoming a lawyer and a judge my entire life. And I guess 30 years later, I was promoted or appointed by Mayor Kasim Reed to the Municipal Court of Atlanta. I have been there. This is my 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm very excited because you think about 8 billion people on the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say only 3% of us get up and do something every day that we love.
And you're part of that 3%.
I'm so honored to be in that 3% because I still enjoy and love what I do every single day.
So when you go into the courtroom, you hear stories about sometimes people who have addictions. Do you ever take your personal experience into consideration when you're considering their fate?
I think that, one, as all judges do, we must consider the law and the facts first.
Mm-hmm.
And I approach every case based on the law in each individual fact of those cases. I would not say that, I would say that my personal experiences probably just tend to help me better assess when someone is being honest and straightforward. Because growing up in Duval, in the 32209 zip code will make you aware of a lot of times when people are trying to pull the wool over your face. And so I think that those kinds of things have helped me, as well as when people, we're not talking about the book, but my father has been a junkie fighting this disease for over 40 years.
Wow.
And so, you know when people are being sincere.
Right. Absolutely.
And you know when they're not.
Right. Absolutely. This is very true. This is very true. I can relate in many ways. So last week, we know there was a lot of spotlight here on the city of Atlanta, with Trump having to come in, turn himself in, along with the other 18 defendants with him. As far as, like, let's say from your perspective, with you being a judge here in the city of Atlanta, how do you feel about the case? What do you think is going to happen with it?
Well, first and foremost, as a judge, because I am a judge, I am not able to give my opinion because we have to remain non-biased, unbiased, nonpartisan. So I think that, like in every other system, you just have to let the system do the work that it was built to do.
Got it.
And trust the people who are doing their jobs, that they come and do their jobs every day, and then see what happens.
Okay. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there because there's a lot that I want to say, and I don't want to get you in any trouble. All right, let's move on to the book. Your book, let's hold it up so everyone can see.
Yes!
The Daughter of a Junkie, a true love story, is about you.
I appreciate you not leaving out the true love story part.
Yes, that is very important.
It is very important.
So it's about your experience of growing up with your father, who you just shared with us has been fighting this disease, addiction to crack cocaine, for over 40 years.
Yes.
When did you first realize that your father was an addict?
I get asked that a lot. And the most honest answer is I don't remember a time of my father not being an addict.
Got it.
So I can't say that on this day or this age I knew. I just know that I have very few memories where I didn't know.
That's deep. That's really, really deep.
Yeah, my father's been smoking crack cocaine since 1978.
Wow. So, okay. So what is your relationship like with him now to this day?
Okay, and so that is a question that I've been asked a lot recently. That really always takes me back.
Okay.
I'm stunned when people ask me that. My relationship with my father is amazing. It's always been amazing. Beautiful. And so I guess I didn't realize that so many children of addicts don't have relationships, because that was not my experience.
Yes.
There's not been a point or time in my life where my father has not been present, supportive, loving, all while fighting this disease. And so naturally, I'm always like, what do you mean? My relationship with my father is amazing. I'm a daddy's girl.
Right. Okay. See, that's beautiful. Because I know, unfortunately, there are, like you said, there are a lot of people, especially in our community, who have parents who are addicts and they don't have a relationship with them, and they are absent parents. So that's beautiful that your father is able to still maintain his role as his father, or as your father in your life, while still fighting this disease. And I even heard an interview where you shared he actually came to Atlanta to help you with raising your children. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe you heard that.
Yes. I was like, that just touched my heart.
Yeah, and again, we are all growing through this process of healing, right? Mm-hmm. So I do have empathy for those who don't have the same relationship. And now I have a better understanding that my relationship with my father is unique. Mm-hmm. And especially, I think that my father stepping up for me and my children is unique, probably across communities for different fathers.
Absolutely. Even if they're not an addict.
Even if they're not an addict,
yes.
Even if they're not a black man. I know that statistics will have you, well, let me say, sometimes the media will make you believe that black fathers are more absent than other fathers, right. But statistics say they're more present, they're more active, they're more engaged than any other father. So I had children back to back.
Okay.
Me and Michelle and Kevin, who are now 17 and 16 years old. And I just had my son, and my father came and saw that I was overwhelmed, mm-hmm. and was basically being left alone taking care of these two small children. And he immediately said, you need help. So he yes. went home, and he actually came to visit me.
Okay.
To detox.
Wow.
But then while he was detoxing, was like, what is going on?
Look at that blessing in disguise.
My daughter needs help. He told me he was going home for the weekend and he would be back. And so he came back and stayed here for over a year, helping me. He drove me everywhere. He took my kids on walks every single day to the park.
That is beautiful.
Anything that we needed, he was there to assist. until he felt like I could handle things on my own. And it was actually the longest period that he was clean in his life.
Wow. So your kids, him coming to visit you and your kids, helped him clean up himself.
Well, my father seems to always be able to prioritize his children and grandchildren.
Got it.
And so he decided that we needed him more than he needed crack cocaine in that moment.
Wow. That is such a beautiful story for you to be able to sit here and tell that to us. How do you feel like your relationship with your father helped mold you as a mother?
Oh, I think that it, not just my father and my mother, I think it molded me into the mother that I am. Because despite all of the chaos, despite all of the trauma, despite all of the danger, I think that my parents did an amazing job raising myself and my sister, because not only did they put life skills in my sister and I, they also gave us fundamentals and morals that I stand on and live by to this day.
That's beautiful.
And so I think that I've guided my parenting based on what they instilled in me, but I've done my very best to try and make sure that I could do that for my kids without the same trauma and chaos.
Got it. And that's a great thing to be able to take away from that as well, because sometimes the cycle is repeated. Once children experience all this trauma, they experience their parents, dealing and fighting with their own diseases, and unfortunately they inherit a lot of that and pass that on down to their children. So thank you for being able to break that cycle for your children. If you were ever I'm sorry. So basically, now my next question to you, we have your book here. Why this specific title?
It's very simple. It's the only thing that I've ever identified with as myself my entire life. So again, I told you that I'm from Duval. I told you I'm from the poorest zip code in the state of Florida. And so in my community, unfortunately, there are things that when you are poor that are weaponized against you.
Absolutely.
And being poor or not having resources is one of those things. But also, when I was growing up, I felt like my father's disease was weaponized not just against him, but also against the family.
Got it.
And against us. And so kids and adults alike can be cruel.
Absolutely.
But at a very young age, my sister and I decided that we were going to own our story. We were going to take our power back. We were not going to allow anyone to define us by my father's disease or define our relationship or love for him. And so you would meet me and I would instantly introduce myself. Hey, I'm Terrinee, the daughter of a junkie. Hey, I'm Terrinee, the daughter of a J. So I'm putting it out there. Now what do you have?
Right.
What are you going to use?
Exactly. You can't throw anything in my face at that point.
You can't throw that against me.
Right.
So that's the first part, and that's the part that everybody hears. But I think I know the most important part of the book is the byline, a true love story. That's the part people overlook that I hope will just run and scream through the pages when you're reading, because there are some very dark things. I give a very raw and transparent accounting of a lot of my childhood growing up with an addicted parent. But I also give a very, very close look of how we survived everything through love.
Wow. That's deep. That's different. Because again, a lot of times these parents don't show that love. They don't display it because they don't also know how to display it to their children, especially when they're battling their own vices and diseases. So when somebody reads your book, what do you want them to take away from the book?
I want them to walk away and realize that we all deserve grace. And that we all deserve love.
Got it.
And love conquers all, always.
Absolutely.
So you can be from the poorest zip code in the state of Florida. You can grow up with a parent that is addicted to crack cocaine. You can be teased as a kid. You can, not have the resources or want for things or be, shunned. You could be lied on. You can be attacked constantly. But you still can make it as long as you lean towards the love. Because
Right.
I think that we have gotten to a place in society where we lean on the negative.
Absolutely.
And I think that I would like for people to start leaning towards the light and the love, because the love is what saved my life.
Yes. I love that. I love your story. And really quickly, what is your children's relationship like with your dad now?
Oh, my dad has always been best friends with my kids.
Okay.
Again, I just told you that he walked them to the park every single
Right.
day. My son just turned 16. We went to Miami for his 16th birthday. My mom and dad was there.
Wow. That's
So
beautiful.
we are a very close-knit family.
Okay.
We always have been a close-knit family. And I can't imagine us not being. I can't imagine my children have always known about their grandfather's addiction as well.
Okay.
They've read the book, and they are not only proud of me, they are proud of him, and they love him immensely, and he loves them just as much. Because that's, in my family, we lean towards the love.
I love that. I love it. I'm a daddy's girl myself, so I know how it feels to be loving all over your dad and not,
Yes.
judge him for anything that he does wrong. But coming up, we have the book out. Are you going on a book tour? How can people get the book?
Yes, I've been on a book tour. The book came out last Tuesday.
Okay.
And so it is out on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. There is an Audible, which
Okay.
is very special. I'm very proud of that. I did an original soundtrack
Okay.
performed by Imam Ramadan, and we used it to score the Audible, which has never been done to our knowledge in Audible history.
Congratulations.
Yes, it's an experience that we're very proud of. And so you can get all of that on Amazon. I have a lot of events coming up. I'm doing an event with Killer Mike and Kasim Reed. I don't know if you've heard Something for Junkies, but Killer Mike has a song where he's honoring his aunt.
Okay.
And so he's leaning into the love, and
That's
we're
a
going to
great way
get
to
together
collaborate.
and have a love fest
Yes.
about these flawed family members that we have, but we love abundantly.
And when is that event? Because I would love to come.
I would love for you to come. You should come.
I'm
It's
gonna be
on
there.
Thursday.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll
this
be there.
Thursday. We would love to have you there. And I have a lot of book signings coming up. I'm going to Dr. Heavenly's beauty supply store for a book signing on Friday.
Okay.
I'm going back to South Georgia, to Tifton, Georgia on Saturday. So I have a lot of things coming up. If you follow me on IG, I let everybody know about everything that's coming up. But everything about me is proudly and forever the daughter of a junkie. So my website is the daughter of a junkie.
Okay.
My Instagram is the daughter of a junkie.
That was going to be my next question. How
is
can we
the
get in
daughter
contact
of
with
a
you?
junkie.
Look.
So if you just look for the daughter of junkie, you're going to find me.
All right. Well, there it is. Thank you so much for coming and sitting down with us and sharing your story and being so resilient and transparent with everybody. You guys heard it here first on In Style Atlanta and Juicy Pop. Make sure you go get the book. Make sure you are supporting her story. Judge Terrinee is here. She has given us all the insight on her book. Make sure you support. She's a Black author. She's a mom. She's a judge. How do you handle all of that? Like, you have so many different titles. How do you juggle it all? Let's ask that real quickly.
Yeah, that's an easy question. Here's the thing. Again, being the daughter of a junkie prepares you for a lot of chaos and a lot of moving parts. And so it really was training for the life ahead of me. I mean, everybody else would
Everything.
think that I'm overwhelmed.
Yes.
But I've been doing this my entire life, juggling a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it really almost just feels, some people say it's overwhelming to them. To me, it's just life.
It's just normal.
Yeah, it's life.
You just gotta pivot.
My father and my mother trained me to perform. So I get up every day and perform.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you again so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
Of
You were so
course.
much fun.
Thank you. You have to come
a
back.
Beautiful spirit. I will
Thank
come
you.
back each and every time you invite me.
Thank you. And if anybody has any outstanding parking tickets, can they reach out to you? How does that work?
Yes, it's called municipalcourtofatlanta.com. We have an FTA calendar that you need to go and get on and come before a judge.
You guys heard it here first. Get your tickets expunged. Go support her book. Make sure you're showing up at her events and supporting her. Thank you so much again for your time and for coming out and sharing your story. I am Ms. J with JuicyPop with InStyleAtlanta.com. And we will talk to y'all later. Thank you.